I both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay?
Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel. City boy! City boy! This is insane, you guys. This is insane. This is freaking insane. We're on the loom of World War III in the Middle East. I recorded a video yesterday to drop today I'm driving home. I just got back home from Belgium, and I'm driving home from the bank because I had to turn in my euro currency. So I'm driving home, and I'm getting all these alerts on my phone that, Iran is shooting missiles at U.S. air bases in Qatar. And I'm like, this is getting crazy. And so I do a video on it. I was like, I'll release it tomorrow. Then by the evening, I'm starting to see Trump say, hey, there's a ceasefire peace in the Middle East again. I'm like, what? What? I'm like, okay. So I was like, yeah, man, when I wake up, I'm going to do a video about the ceasefire. I wake up, I record a video, literally. I record a video talking about the ceasefire, and then they're saying, hey, they broke the ceasefire. So I do the video. It's about to drop. And then I just see literally like 30, 40 minutes ago, they're like, Trump dropped the F-bomb because he's pissed off about the violation of the ceasefire from both sides. And, it's interesting because if anyone, you have to be familiar with what's going on right now, right? I think Israel launched some type of attack against Iran. Iran responded. Then the U.S. went and bombed their, I think it's a uranium facility or like nuclear facilities to dismantle those. They did that successfully. Then Iran started shooting at or launching missiles at the U.S. air bases, something to that degree. I'm not here to get geopolitical, but when I'm covering trending topics, this is as crazy as it gets. And I really want to hear your guys' thoughts. I know that a ton of people hate Donald Trump, and I know a ton of people love him, right? And I see the mixture of those people in my comments. I try to be as nuanced and middle ground as possible, but I already saw people starting to protest in America. Like I don't know if it's pro-Iran. I think it was like pro-Iran protests and stuff. And I was like, this is just crazy how many people have time to protest right now. I can't even believe it if we're just being real. You got the ICE protests. I think you have Palestine protests. Now you have Iran protests. I just don't get where people have all this time to protest. I'm just like, the economy is kind of, still on the ropes. I'm like, that's wild. But anyway, my people are ready to protest, and dude is trying to actually bring peace. We're going to watch some of this, hear him talk. But I just think this, because of the state of things, and I don't know where you stand with Trump, there's things that I don't agree with, obviously, with the Trump admin. But the one thing that I feel like he's very proactive in trying to keep peace. He doesn't want Ukraine and Russia, regardless of the complications and challenges and, all this stuff. He doesn't want war there. He doesn't want war in the Middle East. And if we're being real, in my opinion, peace is good for business. War is only good for business for, the military war, what do they call it? Industrial complex or infrastructure. And I live in a military town. I mean, everything has its pros and cons. But what I would say is that I just feel like right now where the world is at, peace within our planet is better for business for everyone. I don't know. I don't know the complications. Again, I'm not a geopolitical dude. I'm not here to do geopolitical news. Just a person who's concerned about the state of the world and watches this from time to time. But, I'm traveling in Europe, and then I'm just hearing, World War III started. I'm like, it's frightening. It's frightening. I started watching this, and I was like, you know what? Let me just do a new video because the video I have is already out of date. And by the time this drops, this might be out of date. So bear with me, because it's going down. But I just want to at least acknowledge what is going on in the world today on my channel, because I think it's a good, I go back and check out my channels, and it's like these time capsules. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. I'm gonna come back where we're at 2:39. Let's watch some of the beginning. I'm curious what a lot of the people who hate Donald Trump. I'm curious what they think about him being the most peaceful president in our time, American president. No new wars. I think the stat is what he achieved hasn't been achieved in 40 or 50 years from a U.S. president. And he comes out and walks his dogs, and like he just calls things how he sees it. And he's like, yo, I wish this wouldn't happen. I wish this wouldn't happen. We need peace out there. We need peace. And I feel like he's actually pretty aggressive in trying to get peace. And I'm curious for the people who dislike Donald Trump or actually hate him, think he's vile. What do they think about him trying to bring peace to this region? Or do you think there's something behind it? I'm just curious what people think. I personally think it's great. These were things that I always liked about Trump. I liked his stance on peace, the economy, and immigration. And I mean, the big, beautiful bill, we could criticize that. I agree. Like, we need to get our deficit, the U.S. deficit, down. I don't think the big, beautiful bill does not do that. So, I mean, I'm all open to criticizing any a leader. But anyways, let's see what's up.
Mr. President, the Middle East just woke up to a new dawn because of the ceasefire. Mr. President, Israel said
Ceasefire breaking is intact.
I don't think so, but I'm not happy that Israel's going out now. There was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit, and it missed its target. And now Israel's going out. These guys got to calm down. Ridiculous.
You could tell he's actually angry about this. He's like, man, I'm trying to bring peace to this. And he's like, y'all just can't settle the F down. It's so crazy. I don't know, man. I respect that. Also, I respect his hairline, bro. Like, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing, man? I'm seeing his hair damn near 80, just stunting like that. You think he had hair plugs? I mean, this ain't the time to talk about it, but bro, his hair is fantastic. I ain't gonna lie, man. I miss having hair, bro.
I didn't like plenty of things I saw yesterday. I didn't like the fact that Israel unloaded right after we made the deal. They didn't have to unload. And I didn't like the fact that the retaliation was very strong. But in all fairness, Israel unloaded a lot. And now I hear Israel just went out because they felt it was violated by one rocket that didn't land anywhere. That's not what we want, I'll tell you. And I'm telling you, I'm not happy about that, Israel, either. All I do is play both sides. I'm going now, as you know, to NATO. Some of you are going with me, and I think it's going to be successful. We'll see. I'll let you know.
Are you going to see the agreement? It's a new dawn in the Middle East, thanks to the agreement you managed to achieve. What are your future plans for the region, for Saudi Arabia, Israel, Gaza, the hostages?
Look, you're asking me about women in the Middle East. It's getting a lot better. Things are happening at a high level. As you know, Saudi Arabia's done a really good job. It's coming out far faster than I thought. So we're very happy about what's happening with women in the Middle East.
No, I'm talking about a new dawn in the Middle East that you managed to achieve last night.
Yeah.
The region is going to a new place with this agreement. Can you tell us what's your future plans for Gaza, for the hostages?
Yeah. It's a new dawn. I appreciate the question. You're very nice. Who are you?
Thank you. I'm Neria Kraus from Israeli Channel 13 News.
Well, we have to have Israel calm down because they went on a mission this morning. I got to get Israel to calm down now.
Did you get to speak with the Prime Minister? Did you talk to Prime Minister Netanyahu last night?
I speak to everybody.
You urge both sides not to violate the ceasefire, but reports coming from the region suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay?
I just think Donald Trump is a person who takes action, whether you like him or not, or whether you like his stances or not. It's really interesting to see him move the way he moves. I don't know. I feel like this is valiant. Am I tripping? You know, I've never in my lifetime seen a president so aggressive for peace. Like, I don't want these people to be at war. Like, him really taking the time. Like, and you got to think about the horrible presidency we just had with Joe Biden. And, you know, maybe there are certain things behind the scenes that were like, okay, that Joe Biden potentially did, you know. But like, it was just like, he can't even address, like, he can't even talk. And they told you were crazy for being like, why can't he speak? Why is he taking naps and sleeping during, you know, meetings with world leaders? What is happening? And then you just see him, and he's like super competent. And, you know, sometimes I'll say that, and in the comments, people are like, no, he's not. He has cognitive decline. Da, da, da. And I'm just watching this like, what the? I don't understand what other people are seeing, and I'm not. And I feel like maybe, like sometimes, because you got to remember, I am a rapper. So everyone that I am involved with leans super far left for the most part. And so I just, you know, I felt like I'm just in the middle. I'm just observing things. I'm not some far right extreme dude or anything, you know? And I'm just like, bro, what am I seeing? Like, he's competent here. He doesn't want war. He's taking active steps against the war. And then immediately you just have people protesting like, yo, this, that, and everyone's protesting everything these days. And I just don't get it because I thought this was good. Like, I thought these are good actions from an American president. That's what I thought. I don't know. You guys let me know if I'm missing something because I think that's pretty cool, you know?
Have you spoken to him this morning? How confident are you that Iran is going to take the bullets to be completely demolished?
I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And, you know, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to, you know, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots, they're after me. They want to try and demean.
You don't believe that Iran can rebuild its nuclear program?
Well, Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. And you take a look at the pinprick.
He's so good for business. Like, CNN was like crumbling under the Biden presidency, and he's just like, he's like a battle rapper. Donald Trump reminds me of a battle rapper. He just does not back down. I had some questions. So I'm not into geopolitics like that. I'm actually more aware of stuff recently. Just, you know, as I pay more in taxes, I'm like, I just curious where my money goes, etc. You know, what is the leadership trying to do in this country, especially locally, because Colorado's a wild place locally with the local government. But anyway, someone on Instagram was telling me that Iran and maybe China is trying to fund. No, sorry, not Iran. Russia and China is trying to fund Iran in some of these predicaments. And I was just like, wow, there's just so much I don't know. So I'm curious. I'm going to pick up a little bit of game as it goes. But this isn't my priority. My priority is like, you know, building a little bit of wealth, learning more about music, you know, stuff like that. But I'm not going to lie, like politics always kind of draw me back in. I think it's my age, you know, paying taxes. And it actually affects, when you're a father, it affects you and your family, you know, decisions that are being made at these higher levels, especially with local government. So you kind of have to pay attention, especially when you got kids, if your kids are going to be in the school system, a bunch of different things. But all of the government affects these things, so I pay attention more now. All right, let's see where he's going with it.
And you see, that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize. I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real lazy.
Israel says that they violated the peace agreement.
You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people. And the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSDNC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry. Just imagine the president of the United States calling you out by name and saying you're a pathetic loser. Yo, Trump is unhinged, yo. He has no chill button, bro. Oh, man. Why do I like shit like this? I can't hold it in no more, yo. Yo, I'm living in a simulation, yo. I'm cheering up. I just was thinking about the context of him calling that dude out by his first and last name as the president of the United States. He is so unhinged. That's nuts. That's nuts. Bro, we're almost in World War III. He calling out, oh my Lord, have mercy. I mean, they do manipulate. The mainstream media manipulates a lot of things, but that's wild now that I think about it. Holy
disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay.
I'm sorry, you guys. I have to let you know why I'm laughing, because this is not a funny matter at all. World War III is on the helm, and obvious, I would like to not see that happen. But when he kept saying they're dropping the biggest loads, this is the biggest load I've ever seen. Oh, shit, son. He doesn't even, y'all know where my mind is. Yes, it's in the gutter. I'm thinking of that type of load. Yes. So we're clear here that that's just wild. Like his lingo. Oh, my Lord. That's crazy.
Hey, now you have 12 hours. You don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have a response to Iran?
Yo, he knows what he's doing, yo. That dude is like, he's on another level. I'm not going to say he's media trained, but that's like a media trained moment. He's saying they don't know what they're doing and doing a walk-off, like a mic drop. He just created a moment. That's crazy. And it is, I understand the hostility, you know. I don't understand the region and the history behind a lot of this stuff. So I don't pry into that. But what I will say is anyone who's been at war for, you know, like we know how long people have been fighting for Holy Land and these things back and forth. He's not wrong about them saying it's like, I call it seeing red, or when someone blacks out, you just can't see anything else, right? And right now, I look at it like the bigger picture is the world, right? And maybe there's no such thing as a utopia, like all of us unite and stuff like that. But I do think we're at a phase in the planet where we got to figure out how to live together, or we're going to end up destroying the planet in way too many things because of war, right? And this concept of nuclear weapons. And I'm not alluding to that Iran still has them or even had them in the first place. I don't know. I remember George Bush saying the whole, what with the WMDs, right? The weapons of mass destruction that, you know, apparently weren't there or were there. It's just like, dude, you know, but it is important that as moving forward that we start figuring things out as a planet, because we want our planet to exist. You know, we don't want it to be like this dystopian nightmare movie that we see. That was a crazy walk-off moment. a lot of interesting things going on in politics. Y'all let me know. I mean, this one's super important. I haven't been covering like all the big, beautiful bill stuff. And, you know, there's just been a bunch of different things going on. Some stuff I agree with, some I don't agree with from this admin. You know, I think it's okay to criticize the people in politics and in the positions of leadership, and you should do that. That's actually very healthy. But this is something where I'm like, bro, I hope we don't go into a World War III scenario, and we're about to find out. Anyways, you guys, let me know what I got, what I missed. Fill me in, because this is something that, again, geopolitics aren't my thing, so I love to hear from y'all in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.
City boy! City boy!